We are surrounded on all sides, above and below, within and without, by love, protection, divinity, and magic. The circle is cast, and so it is. Hello. My name is Chell. My pronouns are they, them, and this is Phasecraft Collective, your weekly check-in with the tarot to get the vibes, to see what's possible, to explore what energy is available to us for the week to come. Wow. We are writing at the end of a Mercury retrograde, and boy, do I feel it. We are finally coming to the end of Mars in Cancer. If you have been wondering why energies have been just like high and people have been easily angered and like upset, I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that, but like Mars in Cancer is not helping the situation. But we're coming to the end of that. And that's really good. That's really good. I say it all the time. I am not an astrologer, but I do follow astrology. And what all of my astrologer friends are saying is that the second half of April is going to be quite the wild ride. So we're preparing. We're gearing up. This is a week of the next couple of weeks. We're just like figuring it out. We're resting, we're recuperating, we're getting grounded to make sure we can sustain ourselves through the chaos that is yet to come. And there will always be chaos on the way. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Cool. What else? I don't know. Oh, I mean, Tarotcraft. Wow. My course Tarotcraft has started officially. We had the first class this past Thursday, but you can still join in on the fun. You can't sign up for the full thing anymore, but you can sign up for individual classes. This week on Thursday, April 8th, we will be doing interpretation methods. So outside of just looking at the guidebook or learning the 78 meanings associated with the Rider-Waite-Coleman-Smith system, we look at numerology, we look at color symbolism, we look at the elements, we look at other symbols that you see repeated. We're going to talk about reversals a little bit even in this class. So it's going to be a really good one. 2 hours, Thursday night, April 8th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time. What a fun time. So if you want to join that, link is in the episode description as per always. What else? I think that's it. I feel like I usually have so many like announcements at the beginning of my podcast, and here I am just like shuffling nonstop because that's what I do. I'm using the Pagan Otherworlds deck by Uusi Design Studios today. Such a good one. A classic. This is one of my other, like one of the first decks I bought myself aside from the Apparition Tarot that I used a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I love this one. It's a really interesting blend of like Rider-Waite-Coleman-Smith imagery and just the idea of how the like suit kind of dominates the card for the minors, which is more akin to an Italian style or a Marseille style. Like there's not always figures in the minors, which I really like. So yeah, I love this deck a lot and I'm excited. I did a lot of my very first like professional readings with this deck. This is one of my like heavy rotation ones. So let's get into it. If you're new here, wow, welcome. Kind of a chaotic start to the podcast, but that's normal. That's kind of how it always is. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of me just saying, what else is going on? What did I forget? What's happening? Because I have ADHD and my brain is constantly spinning and spiraling and going off on different tangents. But I think it's time to consult the cards. So we're going to begin by taking a moment to ground and center and do what I and many call casting a circle, just to get us present, just to, you know, get our energy embodied and prepared to receive the messages that we are about to receive. So if you'd like, you can join me in closing your eyes. Otherwise, you can let them just kind of settle down at your cheeks or land somewhere else out in space where they can soften and focus. And just take a couple of breaths letting yourself come into your body, into this moment. And feel your shoulders rising and falling. Your rib cage expanding and softening. And start to become aware of wherever your body is making contact with the ground. Whether it's your feet on the floor, your seat in a chair, your back on a bed or a couch. Feel your energy settling there, fully melding you into this moment. Feeling the earth supporting you and gravity holding you. Knowing that you are here, that you are embodied, and that you are held. In this space, I'm going to call to the spirits and guardians of the elements, and as I name them, I invite you to imagine their force or their essence creating an additional layer, a circle of protection around you. You might envision a circle of salt or a ring of fire, or maybe a ring of stones or trees or flowers that rise up out of the ground. Maybe the ground opens up and fills with water, or a force field of air or smoke or light swirls around you. Whatever you see is right, it is good, it is your magic, and it is here for you. I call to the spirits and guardians of the north, of earth, the deepest roots and the tallest trees, the stardust that gives shape to this planet, into our bones. Hail and welcome. I call to the spirits and guardians of the east, of air, of wind and breath, of thought and change. Hail and welcome. I call to the spirits and guardians of the south, of fire, the life-giving sun, powers of creation and destruction, cleansing and renewal. Hail and welcome. And I call to the spirits and guardians of the west, of water, the oceans and our blood, the rivers and our sweat, the rain and our tears. Hail and welcome. We are surrounded on all sides, above and below, within and without, by love, protection, divinity, and magic. The circle is cast, and so it is. You can take a couple more breaths. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Cool. I'm actually going to take a drink of water. I guess I could cut this out, but maybe you can join me in taking a drink of water. Have you had a drink of water today? If you haven't, maybe go get one. Okay. Let's read some cards. Always a good reminder to stay hydrated. It's been a bit of a weekend for me, just emotionally, with my mood. We all have our ups and our downs, and especially if you have, a menstrual cycle, you have your ups and your downs. And then, of course, we've got the world, we've got tempers running high on the internet and everywhere. You gonna give me anything? This deck doesn't want to talk. There we go. And it says 10 of Swords, LOL. Of course it does. 10 of Swords and the Queen of Cups. That's a good vibe. That's a really good vibe. It feels like a reminder that the remedy for overwhelm and burnout and overabundance of thoughts is care. is listening to our intuition, is allowing space for creativity to flourish. Oh, the Hermit's here. I love to see the Hermit. We also have the Fool. The Hermit and the Fool being in a reading together is always really fun, because those are like very different vibes. But maybe not. Maybe not in this context or this instance. Oh, can I have another one so that so that we can end on a slightly different vibe? Okay, so can I have another one and it's like, here's 5. Okay. Usually when a big group comes out all together, I will like set it aside and get to it if we get to it, but they all flipped over too. So let's see here. Okay. So as I was saying, with the Queen of Cups, the Ten of Swords, as you experience difficulty, hard emotions, again, overwhelm, I really want you to meet yourself with care and kindness. I really want you to open yourself up to care and kindness. And see what type of healing you can find in some aspect of creativity, some creative act, some way to get your heart and your mind kind of working together to start churning energy and turning new leaves and like stirring things up inside to help you look at different perspectives and maybe open your mind, your heart, your channel up for intuitive connection. Clearing channels is difficult work sometimes, especially when like the immediate, the earthly, the mundane has really overtaken our attention and our capacity. But allowing this water, I mean, the Queen of Cups is water of water. This is a fresh, like a flushing of all of this BS that is clogging up your connection to self, to divine, to whatever. And figuring out ways to really like cleanse and wash. And I don't mean that in like a weird, like you are unclean type of way, but just to like start to clear out the cobwebs, start to like do the spring cleaning of like the self. And again, not physical, but like energetically. How can you start to move stagnant energy and again, invite that wave, that whirlpool, that swirl to help you see the way forward that is currently blocked? Because once you do King of Wands, the Fool, and the Wheel of Fortune, I really love this little trio. If I can get the card off the desk, I think the King of Wands and the Fool is this. It's like intentional naivete. Do you know what I mean? It's like you have this now, like once you've gone through like your Queen of Cups, your Ten of Swords moment of clearing the way and like making sure you have the space and getting your creative juices flowing, you find your passion again. And with that passion, you were able to see the benefit of beginning again and beginning with a blank slate. The idea of a blank slate, the idea of being a beginner doesn't have to come from a place of immaturity. It can come from a place of intentionality and expertise and knowing that because of all you've done and gone through and because of the person that you have become, confident and sure in what you already can do and what you already know and where you've already been, what comes next can be open and exciting rather than closed or dark and fear-inducing. A new beginning is on the horizon, but it's not from a full release. It is from knowing and pulling from where you've been to move forward into what is next, and then recognizing that the process is the journey. And knowing that you cannot control every aspect of the journey. The Wheel of Fortune. It will turn no matter what you do. It will turn in your favor sometimes, and will turn away from you others. In every direction, there is a lesson. Focus on the things that you can control. Usually that is like things that are immediate to us, right? Our own reactions, our own, emotional. I mean, you can't control your emotions, but you can control your responses, our regulation, our routines, our output. You can control your input to an extent, but you never know exactly what you're going to get. But you can really tighten up the things that you do rule over, so that the things that you don't rule over feel a little less chaotic. When things that happen that are out of our control happen and become overwhelming and throw us off kilter, it is often because we're not grounded in the realms in which we do drive the car. So get grounded in where you have the most influence over your life, and then allow the other things to happen around you and to you and for you. Knowing that there are things that will be happening behind the scenes that you will never know about, and that people will help you without you knowing it. People are speaking your name in rooms that you have never been in positive lights. The fear of control, of the feel of lack of control, often comes from fear of being misrepresented or misunderstood. But sometimes that will happen, yes. But sometimes you are understood perfectly and you don't need to prove yourself. Or if you are not understood, you still don't need to prove yourself. Figure out exactly when you actually need to act and need to exert energy and effort in correcting a perception, and when it's better just to walk away. That's a lesson I've been learning recently. On the internet, every week I come here and I tell you about how active I am on Threads. It's actually really funny. My weekly meeting with my supervisor at my day job too. It's like we log on and I get to tell them about all the Threads drama relating to our work that I've interacted with over the weekend. It's fun. It's like just a little gossip sesh. Anyway, Four of Cups. Four of Cups, Two of Pentacles, and then we have the Hermit and the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. The opportunities to plant your new seeds and create what you want to build are available if you shift your perspective and find that stability in emotional regulation, and find that, again, that like intentional openness. That is what allows you to see when, again, messages, opportunities, information is coming in. Allows you to see the ground before you, or see how the wind is moving through the branches, and make your choices based on information that you might have missed. But it all comes from that groundedness. And that's, I think, where like this Hermit and this Knight of Pentacles are coming into. Like, in order to fully see and become aware of everything, and have the energy and the tools and the inspiration to create. There has to be groundedness and there has to be balance. And there has to be balance between internal development and exploration and external action, and how they can work together specifically. It's not a time to fully retreat into the self and like just work on like meditating all the time and like chanting and saying your affirmations, although please do say your affirmations. This isn't just a time of internal action, and it's also not just a time of external action. There is this balance here of knowing how the internal, the divine, the mystical works in the mundane world, of realizing that you are the universe having a human experience. That you don't get to the divinity, you don't get to have the experience of traversing the realms or of, like finding this spiritual exaltation without having the physical body that you have right now. You are only able to experience magic because you are embodied. And being able to see all that, being able to pause and look and breathe and like open your eyes and like lay out a big plan or like evaluate the situation fully before making a move, or just being able to stop and pull from the internal knowledge that you have and bring it into the real world and apply it practically. That is the magic. The magic affects the material world. Yes, like putting it out into the ether is special and wonderful on its own. But at the end of the day, we're doing this. We're working this to affect our lives on Earth. So really working in that space of balance and connection and integration of practical application and divine exploration, and recognizing the divine within the self that is then able to be enacted practically. Practical is a fun word. I've said it probably 17 times in this video so far. Okay, so then the card that I said, can I get another one because I don't want to end on this note, is the Five of Cups. But then we have like this very interesting vibe that follows the Five of Cups. We have the Five of Cups, and then when I said, can I get a little more, we got the Eight of Pentacles, the Star, the Page of Swords, Death, and the High Priestess. We got Death, the High Priestess, and the Hermit all here together. So a lot of this like transformative, sorry. A lot of this transformative, like spiritual, internal, mystical, searching, seeking, like student energy. And then, we have the Page of Swords, student energy. We have the Fool, beginner energy, right? But then we still have the Five of Cups, which is emotions, but where do we process our emotions in the body? The Eight of Pentacles, we had some more pentacles over here, right? But anyway, the Five of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, the Star. When that emotional turmoil returns, when we find our mental space a little bit in chaos, when we find our mind palace a little cluttered and in disarray and flooded, again, taking it from the realm of the spirit and applying it to the earthly world, processing it through the body, allows us to fully recognize the ways in which we are uniquely able to shape our reality, to inspire hope in ourselves and in others. And it's work, right? Like, we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Wheel of Fortune. This is like work. This is process. That is what this week really is. It is process. However that needs to happen, but at least a little bit needs to be done in the physical plane. And it's, with the Eight of Pentacles, it's finding like a stable way to like continue that process, to come back to it when you need it. Grounding yourself in a routine that you can return to anytime you come to this emotional turmoil. How do you best process your emotions? Is it through journaling? Is it through painting? Is it through a like little dance party in your bedroom? However you need to process your emotions physically, get that figured out. Maybe experiment a little bit. Maybe try a few different things and see what feels really good. And then apply it, use it, and understand and see and watch how it shifts and changes your experience, right? And so then, final cards here. We come to Death, the Page of Swords, the High Priestess. Seeking. Intentionally setting out to discover what you don't know, to find your voice and to find your truth, and knowing that in the process, practical process, ooh, yeah, fun. In that process, be ready for deep transformations, maybe not like of your entire being, but just like the ways in which you move through the world and experience your day-to-day life. Notice how those things change and shift. Be ready for those changes to occur. Be ready for your mind to change. And know that that's okay. And in changing your mind, you take the first steps in finding the magic in the mystery for yourself. Being able to change your mind, being able to be flexible and open to transformation and change, especially transformation of thought and habits and like deeply held beliefs as you seek truth and intention, that opens you up for that divine connection, for that intuitive connection. We're doing all this earthly work, obviously, and that is what, again, brings that connection into play. It is all integrated, or it all needs to be integrated. At the end of the day, like I said, this is a week for process. It's also a week for seeking new, intentionally, and knowing that it is new to bring into and alchemize and mix with what exists, rather than a complete release. Although with Death, one could argue that like a complete release in some form or another is needed. But with the rest of this, it's really like evolving, right? It's more like shedding a skin than completely like composting a self. Yeah. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Six of Cups. And at the end of it all, we return to joy. We are reminded to lean in to the joy, to explore the things that ignited our soul and our creativity, maybe as a younger self, maybe as a child self, or the things that help us experience that childlike joy and wonder. That's where we return to. Cool. That's the vibe. I love it. It's a good vibe. Yeah. What a week. What an arrangement of cards here. I love this Death card. I like the wings made of arrows. Everything about it is good to me. Anyway. Okay, let's close our circle. So, if you'd like, you can once again join me in closing your eyes. Take a couple deep breaths. reconnect to the earth through your point of contact. Reimagine that elemental circle you put up around yourself. Take a big deep breath in. As you exhale, see your breath open that circle, scattering salt, extinguishing fire, sending water, plants, sinking back into the earth, dissipating air, darkening light, opening the circle and releasing the energy. I release the spirits and guardians of the west, the south, the east, and the north, sending you back to your place in the natural order with praise and with gratitude. I send the energy of all those watching and listening back to them whole, complete, and intact. I take my energy back to myself whole, complete, and intact. May we remain friends, though our energies are no longer crossed, corded, or tangled at all, starting now. Take a breath, feel your energy settle into all yours. The circle is open, and so it is. Awesome. All right, friends. That is it for me. Come to class this week if you want to. Join the Patreon. I'm about to drop a Patreon exclusive. Well, there's like 5 other people that are getting it. Back when I did my winter class series, we were originally going to do a class on pop culture witchcraft, like witchcraft representation in pop culture and like tailoring it to then use in real life. And then I changed it to resistance magic. So if you are on that list, that will be coming out later today if you're watching this on Sunday. Or if you're watching this on Monday, then it landed in your inbox yesterday and you should go find it. But I'm also about to post that on Patreon for $22 and up subscribers. So if you are a patron or you want to be a patron, the manifesting tier, that's a $22 tier. We have monthly pre-recorded full moon rituals that go up. And then I'm also just going to start uploading some other like random class recordings, either ones that I've pre-recorded or recordings from past classes, just because I think that's fun. So yeah, if you want some free classes, because I mean, $22 a month and then you get like extra workshops and classes, what a freaking steal. You should join my Patreon. Anyway, you can do a free trial for a week and see if you even like it, but if you don't, then I'll be sad. Okay, that's it. And I hope you have an incredible rest of your week.